For the previous lecture, where we handled the distinct real eigenvalues, try to solve these two differential equations to find the general solution. I am not providing the initial conditions, so you have to stop by forming the expression for the general solution. So solve these and find the general solution. This is for the previous one. And now let us look at the complex conjugate eigenvalues. The case of complex conjugate eigenvalues. So let us say the equations are x1. I sometimes use the small letters, sometimes use the capital letters. Both are permissible in this course to represent functions. So you have to stick to what I use. Let us say this is what we need to solve. Once again, we are going to write in the matrix form. So x1, x2 is equal to minus half, 1, minus 1, minus half, x1, x2. Once again, we are going to try this solution that xt is equal to some vector v e raised power lambda t. And we need to find this eigenvalue problem, solve this eigenvalue problem. This is the eigenvalue problem to be solved, where you should remember that this lambda is a scalar and v is a vector, a is a matrix. We know that the determinant of a minus lambda I should be 0 for the eigenvalue problem to be solved. And this can be, you should remember that this was equal to lambda square minus trace of a into lambda plus determinant of a. So let us just write this down. Lambda square minus trace of a is minus 1. So this is going to be plus 1, and lambda plus determinant of a. So this would be 1 by 4 plus 1, which would be 5 by 4. We can use the quadratic formula to find the values of lambda 1 and lambda 2. So minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. So we get minus half plus minus 4 plus minus iota 1 or plus minus iota. So that would be equal to two values, minus half plus iota and minus half minus iota. You can see that lambda 1 is minus half plus iota and lambda 2 is the conjugate of lambda 1. So let us find v1 by solving a minus lambda I into v equal to 0. So A minus half minus lambda 1 minus lambda 1 in the identity matrix and A and the other element of A. I am doing two steps together. 1 minus 0 will be 1, minus 1 minus 0 would be minus 1, and then this last element minus half minus half plus iota. So this would be a matrix, this whole thing into this V1 1 1 and V1 2 equal to this vector 0. So what is this? Minus half plus half. So this iota into V11 plus V12 equal to 0. This again, that relationship of multiplicity would exist here. We get iota here but minus 1 here, so iota is multiplied by iota to get minus 1. 1 is multiplied by iota to get iota. So only one expression is needed. So let us take the first element to be 1, then V12 would be minus iota and V1 would be equal to 1 minus iota. We can very easily see, you can solve it completely to see that V2 would be equal to the conjugate of this thing, so that is 1 and iota. For lambda 2 is equal to minus half minus iota. So knowing this, we now would use superposition. Not only superposition, but we would also be interested in finding a real solution, because these equations come from real system. There is no imaginary thing in here. So how to make an imaginary is something that has an imaginary part as well to be a completely real solution. When we get a quantity that when we have two eigenvalues that are complex conjugates of each other, and we need a solution that is real. So remember that if we have a complex number a plus iota b, which is a complex quantity, so how to make a real number out of it when we have this z as well as its conjugate as well? Then we just add these two values, z and its conjugate, and divide by 2 to get the real value. So a plus iota b plus a minus iota b by 2 going to give us the real value, the real part in the z. And when we subtract this and divide by 2, we are going to get the imaginary part. So basically we take the real value of 1 of either of the eigenvalue and eigenvector, and the imaginary part as well, to constitute a solution. So the general solution in this case would be xt is equal to the real part of the eigenvector and also the real part here. It does not matter whether I write v1 or lambda 1 here. So it does not matter. Why? Because lambda 1 is lambda and lambda 2 is the conjugate of lambda, and both have the same real part and both have the same imaginary part. So if we take the real part of this thing and the imaginary part of this thing as well, and then multiply some scalars and add them together, then we are going to get a real solution. So this is how in the complex conjugate case of eigenvalues we are going to find the general solution. So for this particular example, we are going to get xt is equal to c1, and the real value of what? Let me just put in the values in few steps so that you do not get confused. This v is 1. It does not matter whether we take 1 iota or we take 1 minus iota. However, it should be important that which one corresponds to which lambda. So when lambda is this one, we get v1 this. So we take 1 minus iota e raised to the power minus half plus iota t plus c2 imaginary part of 1 minus iota e raised to the power minus half plus iota t. I have just put in the values. So we are going to get C1, and you know we can write this as e raised power minus half t into e raised power iota t. So e raised power minus half t can be taken out of this because that's a real value. E raised to the power minus half t is real, and the real of 1 minus 1 and e raised power iota t is equal to cos of t plus iota sine of t. So the real part of this thing is required plus c2. Again here we can also take e raised power minus half t and imaginary part of 1 minus iota cos of t plus plus iota sine t. So this is equal to C1 e raised to the power minus t by 2, and this is a single value and this is a vector. This multiplies with this as well as this. So let me just do another step to eliminate any confusion. So we get cos t plus iota sine t and minus iota multiplied by iota is minus iota square, which is 1. So we get sine t minus iota cos t plus c2 e raised power minus t by 2 imaginary part of cos t plus iota sine t. Here we have minus iota. The same thing, sine t minus iota cos t. So what do we get? We get the real part of each element. When we apply a real to a matrix or a vector that may have complex elements, we are only taking the real elements of each complex number. So we get C1 e raised power minus t by 2 and a matrix with only real parts, cos t and sin t, and plus C2 e raised power minus t by 2 cos t and uh, imaginary parts, sin t and cos t. It looks that I may have skipped a sign somewhere. Please review this. I may have skipped a sign somewhere. Minus half minus this thing. So we get minus iota. Oh, this minus sign. You see, I got suspicious of the answer. So here we are going to get plus this, but minus iota. So minus iota. Right. And therefore, this was the plus iota case and this was the minus iota case. And throughout we would have this plus iota here. And because this is plus iota, we are going to get iota cos t and minus sin t and minus sin t plus, so we are going to get a minus sin t here and a plus cos t here. So this would be the form of general solution. Now, depending upon the initial conditions, we can find the values of C1 and C2 to find the full solution. And just for the sake of your practice, you can, for this particular lecture, try to solve this set of linear differential equations x1 minus 2x2 and find the form of the general equation only. Find general solution.